Today is December 13th, 2024, and as a complete moron I usually am, I began looking around for games just for fun, and eventually I checked the gracious, the glorious Humble Bundle. Humble Bundle is one of the best sites for just obtaining so many games at just a great, cheap price, and I wouldn't have discovered it if it wasn't for Foki and his YouTube video game sales and how to cheat the system. So thank you for the video, and I would say go check out his channel right now, like right this second. I will threaten you. So while looking around on Humble Bundle, I did find something very, very worthwhile. Metrovania Mania. For 12 bucks, I could obtain 7 Metrovania games, with those being 9 Years of Shadow, Axiom Verge 1 and 2, Cookie Cutter, Ghost Song, Death's Gambit Afterlife, and The Night Witch. So I decided while purchasing it, and to help trick my brain into buying it, I had decided to make a series out of this. Because why not? I'm going to play every game from within the bundle, hopefully within a nice, reasonable time.
For this video, and the sake of my sanity, I've decided to take on 9 Years of Shadow, a game with 34 achievements and a rating of mostly positive on the Sacred Steam store, with 9 Years of Shadows being a standard Metrovania style type of game. With all of that sorted, let's grab our helper and tear this game apart. But of course, quick spoiler warning, I will give you 5 seconds to make your final decision. Alrighty, you've been warned. No turning back now. The game opens in a world slowly diminishing in color due to a curse that happened 9 years ago, causing 9 Years of Shadows.
He said it! He said it!
With no one also knowing how it happened, or what caused it, but that wasn't the main concern. It was the main effect of the curse that was the issue. People would be consumed by it. However, some had strong enough spirits to keep standing and moving forward. And this is where we get introduced to our main character named Yuriupo, who has already suffered a massive pain from the loss of her parents from the curse. However, her spirit refuses to die no matter what. Day by day, the curse grows ever stronger, taking more people as days go by. Despite this, Yuriupo has been trying to end the nightmare, but to no avail, until now. From what the people say, they have an idea that the curse originated from the castle. However, whoever enters the castle tend to never return from it. Yet Yuriupo does not care about the cost. She's willing to sacrifice it all to end this once and for all. We enter the main floor of the castle with all color gone, with no enemies in sight to fight. The exploration begins, with us roaming around. We also get the basic tutorial. Everything seems quiet. Too quiet. And I was right with that. We encounter the main creature that guards this castle, holding the scythe that'll take our own life, and yet I refuse to go down so easily. Yet, our efforts are nothing but flimsy hits upon the creature, for its laser beam takes us down in a single blast, with it cutting to pure black. But of course it cannot be the end. It can't be. A single floating bear flies around us, seemingly harmless and wanting to help. It heals our wounds with a single hug, and the world seems to be restored in color. With this miracle, we question the bear to understand what his name is, with the name being Apino. And with his company on our journey, we'll be able to survive and fight properly. First, explaining the light bar. This is similar to a shield in most games. You first start with 2 health points. Once those disappear, you basically die. The light bar acts as a shield to prevent death, but it also acts as a ranged sidearm that most Americans have. With every shot we make, the light bar goes down. We're able to regenerate the shield by hugging the bear or by dealing damage to enemies. There's also no limit for hugging the bear, so keep that in mind. We also get 1 dodge move in our arsenal, being a backstep dodge, but to be honest, it's a pain to use half the time. More or less just messes you up more than it helps you. I also want to point out that the bear will be an absolute menace and nightmare in the achievement department, but my past self is unaware of that, and I'm doing the same thing with you. But I will forgive him for right now, since he grants us the achievement Bring It In. We're hugging him for the first time. We also get introduced to the safe rooms. They regenerate your health and light bar while also saving your game and being your respawn point. Outside of that, nothing really gets introduced until we meet our first actual human, named Winton. He also needs our help so we can make it back to the grand concert. But he's not the only one who may be lost, since the rest of them went their separate ways to explore when the color came back. We'll have to get them all back if we want 100% this game and get the achievement Music Lover. But we first have to get Whiten out of here, and to do that, we gotta fight the first boss, the Dwarven Guard. So I head off, thirsty for the first fight, and to get a good grasp of the difficulty in this game. Upon looking around and getting smacked here and there, we obtain the first blue note in the game, a collectible we'll need for another achievement down the line. After that, we then encounter the musician who will willingly take the notes for upgrades, Michura. This is also where we learn what the note upgrades do in particular. The blue notes upgrade our life bar, while the red notes upgrade our red hearts. We're lucky to get the first upgrade for free, but it will become increasingly more expensive as time goes on. We then leave and find the first cartographer's journal, which of course is another achievement, but they're also very helpful in the way that they give us full map knowledge of the area, which is pretty sick. With that, I also achieved my first death like an idiot, but I did find an ability I never use. So that's progress. But it is needed for fully equipped for obtaining all the abilities. I died for the second time like a moron, make it back to where I died originally, get my revenge, and the first mini boss fight starts. I beat it on my first try, and we get the first of 4 elemental powers, with the first one being Zeus's Grace, granting of course electricity, which is needed to open the yellow paneled doors. Something to just keep in mind, but I don't have time to dawdle around, so we just keep exploring until we find the first ancient fragment, something we'll need to boost our armors up and obtain another achievement, while also obtaining Bulleted Enemy for killing 10 of the same common enemy. I then finally find the first boss of the game, and it's an absolute piece of cake, beating it on my first try and obtaining the first achievement, Whack-a-Nope. But since this is the first boss, I'll give it a pass for being easy. Surely the other bosses will be harder. right? But with that, we attain another blue note, make it back to the concert, and talk to Winton again. With the information that we defeated the dwarf, he then gives us the first light fragment, something we'll need for the endgame. We then meet the man who can help upgrade our armor named Hibino. So once we find enough of the ancient fragments, we'll have the man to help us with. With more exploration, we find a whole new region while encountering a spiritual ghost, someone who knows more about this place and the teddy bear than we do, stating that the bear never really trusts anyone and that we're the first exception. She also talks about the demon we fought earlier named Belial. She informs us that we must fight the creature to end the curse, but at this current moment we're just not strong enough, but there is a way. We need to gather the power of the three vestiges, with those being water, earth, and fire. With all three, we'll be able to dispel the darkness. With that, she disappears, but gives us a gift: radical acceptance, the ability to regenerate the light bar when we run out, if we're able to land within the blue marks. This ability is really cracked if you're able to master it, in all honesty. With that, more exploring goes on, while fighting more enemies and such until we reach a new region and find our first red note. It isn't too long until we find the next boss, Tantalus Roach, which is another boss I slammed to the ground on my first try. I will give it credit for being a very fun boss fight and also handing us pesticide. We then also get the first of the three vestiges, with the first being Poseidon's armor, which also, side note, the armor looks sick as hell. Credit where credit is due, good job. It also grants us some abilities, being able to unlock the blue panels and the ability to move underwater. We then leave and are able to explore so much more, finding another blue note and another cartographer's journal on the way, while getting our signature double jump. Woohoo! With the double jump, we then meet a painter named Claude. He talks about the castle and how it holds sorrow within it. He then asks if we can fix the problem. We say sure. Claude makes a portal and we jump through. We're then within the Portrait of Hope. We're then able to boost our armor's capability with Siren form, making underwater exploration much more efficient, getting us more notes in an ancient fragment. We then get thrown to our third boss fight, the Shadow of Hope, which is a bit of a challenge. It's the first boss to actually kill me on my first attempt, while also having two phases, with the second phase being an actual menace. An absolute pain it truly is. But eventually, with 4 attempts, the creature goes down and we get Lift Me Up, with also a new ability being the Fist of Belial, which is required for some areas. We then leave the painting, but when we return, Claude seems to have disappeared. But this isn't the first time we'll talk to him. I then go for a miscellaneous achievement, where we have to land 4 radical acceptances in a row, which takes some time, but I'm eventually successful and we get feline reflexes. Now with the new ability of both the Siren and the Fist, we find another ancient fragment. We then reach the concert again, I upgrade the light bar again, and also decide to upgrade the lightning armor as well, making more progress for both achievements. But since I don't have enough for Poseidon's armor, I leave it as is, and I keep the exploration going, which gets us to another boss, a creature wielding axes named Ulf. Another boss that kills my 1 attempt streak, but that doesn't deter me. If anything, it fuels my determination, and I kill it on my second try, getting us the final offer. With some more boss killings under my belt, I find another red note and another musician, yet with no name given to us. However, she hands us another quest to kill a boss, and again we head off. And it doesn't take long till we find one, named the Mask of Andros. Another fun boss fight that tosses me on my ass. Not only did I get smacked down, I also got sent back quite a ways. So on my way back, I did find the hottest musician in the game. So I'll be right back, let me get my bearings.
1 minute, 37 seconds later.
She also needs our help killing another monster, so now I'm legally obligated to. This time it takes me 2 attempts to come out on top, getting us dangerous fist bump upon defeating it. We also get rewarded with the second vestige needed, the Gaia armor, giving us immunity to the poisonous air. After that, we find the next jewel needed. But all doesn't go so smoothly, since eventually in the upper levels we meet Drathus, someone we seem to know from outside the castle, while also being someone who might be a threat later on. For now, we're able to avoid combat, but I doubt this will last for long. We do get a new ability named Olympian Strike, allowing us to bounce on these things. What the hell are these things? The game never clarifies what the hell they are. Are they springs? They're the closest thing to a name I can think of. But with my interrogation over with, we move on. We find a red node, I find the concert again, I decide to upgrade the light bar 1 more time, and after that upgrade, I met another artist named Van, while being similar to the last artist we met earlier except for the godly amount of overconfidence he holds. But he offers another portal for us to jump through, so here we go. This time we enter the Portrait of Despair, another dimension I crush easily, while also getting the ability of the serpent form, allowing us to enter these little vents. With my daily dose of some blue notes, a daily dose of a red note, and an ancient fragment, after those collectibles, it's boss fight time. This time we're going to do a game show. How many times did it take me to win this boss fight? Make your guess. If you guessed 1 attempt, then here, have this trophy of disappointment. I have enough as is, but we get I See You, a new ability, and we hop out of the dimension. After that adventure, we find 1 more ancient fragment, another blue note, and another red note. But with those obtained, we enter the new region named the Kappa Cauldrons. In my opinion, the coolest area. We of course have the same moment with Jomo Schmuck with a red note, find another musician. We also obtain the last and final vestige needed, the Helios armor, which is the most badass name compared to the other 2. But I still think the Poseidon armor is the best looking armor in the game, while the Helios armor allows us to enter the hot zones without taking any damage. After obtaining the armor, we obtain another journal and the new ability, Horn of Belial, which allows us to break these crystal walls. boss, while grabbing a blue note along the way. We make it back to the main base and upgrade our vitality for the first time, and the light bar once again. I also upgrade the Helios armor while I'm here. We then meet up with Claude again and enter another dimension named the Port of Demise, which gives us the upgrade to the Helios armor, the Phoenix form, the ability to levitate off the fire geysers. But after that, there's more blue notes for me to grab, more red notes for me to get, and some more ancient fragments. With another boss time! And oh boy, this boss was quite the fight. But thank God the light bar is easy to regenerate. It only takes me 2 tries, and with that I come out on top and gain Big Kitty, while also gaining the Fang of Belial. We then leave the dimension and encounter the spirit once more. This time she needs us for a favor, for us to free someone she loves, who is imprisoned here, Talos' heart, for us to stop the heart and remove all the curse that exists in the castle. So we decide to take the challenge and help her for her helping us earlier. But before I fight Talos' heart, I encounter the first challenging boss, which actually took me more than 2 attempts to beat, a boss that threw me into the ground many times. With its many attacks, I die over and over and over again. Yet with undying determination, I'm able to destroy death and claim the boss of its own death, Bone to the Wild. Yet, with our victory over death, we continue the journey, finding another musician who seems like he would be friends with death. And I would like to talk about me fighting Talos' heart at this point, if I actually made it to the damn boss. I struggled to activate this elevator for several hours. I even passed the station needing to activate the elevator several times, and I only realized about it much later when I finally recovered my 1 brain cell from the garbage bin. So yes, a complete moron I truly am. But before I recover my brain cell, I did find a journal, upgrade the light bar once again, find another blue note, an ancient fragment, and a hidden Easter egg to Blasphemous. But after the recovery, we finally reach Talos' heart, with the heart itself making an unsettling presence, the crystals within it showing how much corruption has taken over. I question myself on how this fight will turn out. Can I truly win? We won on the first try. The next thing we do is reach the upper quarters, while finding another musician right at the door, and yet another task is thrown right at our head. This time round, we have to play Dead by Daylight and turn on 4 generators, so off we go. I find some more blue notes, fix 2 generators, break the game by collecting a red note. I just can't escape glitches in these video games, can I? Not even like I'm trying. Fix the glitch of being frozen, obtain another journal, fight another boss named Miria. This boss fight takes me 2 tries, mostly damn that sword with its ranged bullshit and its freaking Counter-Strike move, but it all doesn't matter in the end when we win and obtain Mercy. We also turned on the next generator right after the fight, with the next journal right after, with some more red notes along the journey, and a blue note, while also finding the last secret room needed in the game for the achievement Detective, for finding 10 secret rooms. I die again, find the last photographer's journal, and gain the achievement Librarian. But before we can reach the final generator, we find Dreythus again, yet she's different from what she once was. The corruption has gotten to her, and yet she talks to us about the truth of the curse. How there's 2 pieces of this curse, while stating that the bear we hold on is one half of it. This is the proof we need that she's gone completely mad. So we draw a halberd and the fight begins. We first focus on the sword, dodging its slicing speed and the laser beams cutting our movement apart. But we get through it, and it's not only just a phase 1 fight. Phase 2 starts, and it's not just the sword now. She stands up and fights us head on. The attacks are sped up, now with more blades, with projectiles going around, and the fast-paced battle keeps up with our pace, until I get the final strike on her, bringing her back to sanity with trust issues now shattered. But before we leave, Dreythus talks about the curse once again, stating that the demon who haunts this castle and the bear that we possess are both of the same being, and that they are the curse that plagues this world. But before I can question Dreythus some more, the spirit shows up once again, informing us that we've collected the vestiges needed and have healed the heart, telling us we're ready for the truth, for what lies in this castle, telling us that the curse happened 9 years ago from a boy who suffered grief for many months, looking for an escape, yet one cannot simply escape from reality. So he had used magic and eventually casted the spell that reigns over everything. But the spell had quite the cost on the boy, splitting his being into 2 pieces, heart and body, now separated, and yet with the heart having no place to go and seeking refuge within what the boy carried so much, the bear. But the body still carrying the pain and sorrow, transformed into the creature of Belial, with the color draining from everything. That's what happened to the boy, the spirit's very own son. And to kill the invincible Belial, we must restore the heart within the bear we've trusted this entire time, who's lied to us, who's betrayed us the entire game. The bear, scared we'll kill it, leaves us, returning the world to its colorless state. But now we have the task to hunt the bear down and end this once and for all. We head to the region of Talos' mind, but before we reach far within the mind, a demon of the abyss reveals itself, and with fighting is not an option anymore, we run. I would like to make this an epic escape from the creature, where I barely escape from the teeth of this creature. But I don't. I die 3 times, and on the 4th attempt, I make it out after bashing my head against the wall. But after the escape, we meet up with both the artists again from earlier. With the anger resenting within us, we instantly jumped into the next painting. Yet this isn't a painting like we've seen others as. This is not a painting of war and battles, rather a painting of memories of a mother and the child, with the mother slowly dying and trying to prepare her son for sorrow and pain. Yet time is never a friend to those who have fragile hearts. With the story weighed on our hearts, we understand her pain, and the spirit reveals herself once more. We know the dilemma she has in her hands, and the pain of killing her only boy's son who just suffers from pain and the sorrow. So we make the decision to not kill the boy. We refuse. There must be another way. With nothing to lose, we decide to fight the invulnerable beast once more. There must be a weakness. The spirit, hearing our plan to save our son, gives us the final gift, the final armor, the grace of Ariel, and the achievement, fully equipped, for all armors and abilities obtained. The armor holds several strengths and abilities. We first are able to kill the crystal creatures without the bear we've been so used to this entire time. Our light board can recover automatically now. We have a super dash that just goes infinitely, while also being able to ram through enemies, and an area of effect blast that acts like a board wipe Magic the Gathering, while also bringing color back into the world. With the new armor, we leave Talos' mind, obtain our last red note, and regroup with the concert once again. I upgrade the vitality one last time and unlock all the jewels. But before I fight the final boss in this game, I decide to start hunting for the other achievements, starting with Music Lover. With only one musician missing, this is going to be an easy achievement, so let's go looking. Where the hell is he? Google, give me your secrets. Oh, you motherfucker. But with the final musician obtained, we get the last quest needed for 2 achievements, with the next boss being the Logan Duck. This time round, I don't struggle finding it. Thanks, Google. And this boss fight was one of the more interesting fights rather than a tough one. However, it takes me 2 attempts to get the dodging correct, but the duck goes down and we get no more nightmares. The next 3 achievements tie into each other. Empowered for upgrading all the armor with 2 armors left, Honed Edge for maxing out our light bore, and Gotta Kill Them All for killing every creature in the game and adding it to the bestiary. You remember that problem I alluded to earlier at the start of the video? The problem with the bear is that if you kill anything with its range attack, it doesn't show up on the bestiary. This also includes bosses, meaning you can hard luck this achievement if you're unaware of that. Luckily for me, I'm a huge Dark Souls fan and the melee is the only true damage, but this could have been a huge setback for us. Also, quick update. They fixed this issue. What? When I'm recording this too? This can't be happening. This is the second time this has happened. You gotta be, you can't, no, I don't believe this. So I began hunting the monsters I was missing, with those being Spiked Karkin, Rock Spider, Pyro Spider, and Escathery. But this hunt will also help me with collecting and gathering the last 2 blue notes. But no matter how much I stared at the screen, I just couldn't locate the last note. But thanks again to Google, I was able to find them and achieve the final light bar upgrade, getting Honed Edge. While there, I upgraded the final 2 armors and unlocked Empowered. Most of the monsters were not a problem, fighting them was a slight bit of an issue, but nothing too bad. However, the flipping Spiked Karkin was the most painful enemy to find. You would think it's a common enemy to find, but that was the complete freaking opposite. It took me way too long just to find one. However, I was eventually able to and achieved the wretched Gotta Kill Them All. At this point, you're probably wondering, and probably saying, if you have all the beasts in the bestiary and the achievement, then where are all the bosses? And that's an excellent question because I have an answer right here. This board will help us get through all 10 bosses for the reason that all 10 bosses were easy one-shots. And instead of making the video even longer than it already is, I can cut the length down by a few minutes by doing it this way. Here's the rule set with it. Every boss will have one line of interest, the name, and the achievement connected to them. Alright, let's start this. Don't bring a gun to a halberd fight. Izia, interest. The bouncing bullets were a pretty big issue, but outside of that, nothing too much. Foul Ball, Lino, interest. Just to get behind for easy damage. Dispelled, Hecate's Illusion, interest. Took me way too long to learn how to win the fight. Spare Coin, Izia, interest. It's a hot demon. No, it's not a hentai game. Like Clockwork, Gear of Erebus, interest. I just tank the hits and still come out on top. Broken Gem, Locrian Sentinel, interest. One of the coolest boss designs. Save Your Soul, Honed God, interest. You like balls? You're welcome, Huntresses. Link, interest. The clone ID was pretty fun. Also, a Zelda reference? Friends stick together. Nisia and Limo, interest. Yes, there's slime skulls. No, this is not a hentai. And no, put that damn lotion away. Checkmate, Miazzle, interest. Probably the funnest mechanical boss in the game, since I'm a semi-chess nerd and I thought it was pretty fun. With all the bosses defeated, we talked to the musicians again and gained 5 light fragments, which is how we obtained the upgrade needed for the light armor. Alright, we're up to date. We're on the last achievement. Cool. Alright, now let's kill the final boss. We first have to ascend the tower, which takes a bit of time, but we make it. We ready our halberd and prepare the final fight to save the child whose heart went through so much. We enter, and the beast shows itself, ready with its own weapon to claim our own life. But I refuse to back down so easily. Yet with every blow we've landed and every hit we've taken, the beast will not go down. It seems that the beast is truly invulnerable. But as a last-ditch effort, with our life on a thin line, we try to reach Alpino, and yet the boy within the beast is not ready to move on and talk. He ignores our words. The beast raises its scythe, ready to strike us down. We accept our death, and yet, at the last moment, the bear comes out and saves us from the second and final time, causing the beast and the bear to merge as one again, bringing the boy back to himself again, while finally dispelling the curse and bringing color back to everything, giving the people hope, and bringing Alpino and Europa closer together, both resolving from their griefs and torments with a bright future ahead of them, with the 9 years of shadows now behind them. I personally enjoyed this game, from its art style, to its story, to its mechanics, and to its boss fights. I really enjoyed my time with the game. I thought the bosses were fun and well designed, while also being a bit too easy for me. But maybe that's just the Dark Souls experience for me. But maybe that's a good sign for other players as well. So what's my conclusion on this game? I would say it's quite fun. Some people might have issues with it, but I enjoyed it. I would say it's a fun factor of 7 out of 10 teddy bears, and a difficulty of 5 one-shot bosses out of 10. The only tough part being the bestiary, which caused me to have several headaches. But with that said and concluded, I must now talk about the downfall. Okay, geez, not that kind. Not the YouTuber kind of downfall. Jesus Christ. I haven't gotten 1,000 subscribers yet. Save the documentaries for later. But what I mean is the next 4 games will be hard as nails with their achievements. All requiring speedrunning, some requiring to beat the game almost hitless, and much more hell waiting in store for me. So that'll be all fun in the future. So just pray that I don't suffer too much. With that, stay chill and watch some anime.